Dr. Ken Harris is next here on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what, because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of adjustment.
But answer my question though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
This is The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the common council president and the common council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio in Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. So, here's the dealio. I came across some information. By the way, remember to join us here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth as we stream live, YouTube and Twitter at 101.7 The Truth. If you have any questions or you want to shoot me an email and you don't understand what we're doing, send it to host@1017thetruth.com. And I'll be on the air and I'll see it come through and I'll, like, if I get a chance to respond. Just in the subject, just put Dr. Ken. Otherwise, you know, Sherwin might read it. And you know how Sherwin likes to impersonate people. So he may answer you when it's not me. So I'm just saying. 833-212-1017 is the number. This is Law Enforcement Week. And during Law Enforcement Week, we've been talking to a lot of people. And tomorrow we have a great guest coming up. Monique Cole, who works for the United States Secret Service. And she'll explain what she does and tell her background. And how it feels to be a Black woman in the United States Secret Service, to be a supervisor, to be an agent in charge. You know, that is something that's, I say, special. So, and if you're interested in a career in law enforcement, if you're interested in a career in federal law enforcement, you know, she put it in. She put in the work and she did it. And so now she's a boss. She's a boss lady. So we're going to talk to her and see what's going on. The respect and the admiration of the United States Secret Service and their history and how they started. And, you know, sometimes in order to win, you got to step in. And so we'll talk about that a little too. We got a little open show today. We'll talk about some law enforcement stuff. We'll talk about all sorts of things that are coming up here on the new 1017 The Truth. But of course, I looked at 9,000 things in the news today, and I came across a study. And I want to say thank you to Danielle, because she said, hey, have you seen this study? And you know when people start out with the what? Like, all she had to say was study. And then I went, Oh, yeah. Well, it came out of the Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA. It's an original investigation on excess mortality and years of potential life lost among the Black population in the United States between 1999 and 2020. So think about that. That's 11 years. Technically, it's 12 years. But so why is this important? I thought that I would talk to you about this because I want to talk about it and I want to know what you think. So it goes like this. Amid efforts in the U.S. to promote health equity, there's a need to assess recent progress in reducing excess deaths and years of potential life loss. So what that means is that they're counting not just the people that died, they're actually counting when you die, if your life expectancy is what? Male 72.9 years and female 76.9 or something like that. Had you lived, how many years would you have been here? Excuse me. And that is the loss of life, right? Potential life lost in comparison to the white population. So the objective was to evaluate trends in excess mortality, the years of potential life loss among the Black population compared to the white population. Now, I'm reading the overview of the study so that there can be no questions of me adding in anything or saying something that I wasn't supposed to say, or you thinking I'm making something up. So the design was they did a serial cross-sectional study using U.S. national data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention from 1999 to 2020. They included data from non-Hispanic white, non-Hispanic Black populations across all age groups. And what they did is they found out the race based on the death certificate. So here's some main outcomes. Excessive age-adjusted all-cause mortality. That means that it don't matter what killed you. We're not going to start dividing out this killed you, that didn't kill you. Just overall, cause-specific mortality, age-specific mortality, and years of potential loss rates per 100,000, right? That's how they count crime, per 100,000. If you have a city of 500,000 people and you have crime per 100,000, so if you have 10, that means total 10 times 5 is 50. So that particular crime rate was 50. But then how do I compare it to Chicago, who has 3.5 million? Well, you compare it per 100,000. So if one place's number of crimes per 100,000 is more than another one, you can compare Milwaukee to Chicago. Make sense? That's how they're doing with these deaths. So here are the results that I wanted you to hear. In 1999 to 2011, the age-adjusted excess mortality rate declined from 404 to 211 excess deaths per 100,000 individuals among Black males. However, the rate plateaued between 2011 and 2019 and increased in 2020 to 395. They hadn't seen that rate since 2000. Among Black females, the rate declined from 220 excess deaths per 100,000 individuals in 1999 to what number in 2015? 87. There was no significant change between 2016 and 2019. And in the 2020 rates increased to 192, levels not seen since 2005. Well, the trends in rates of excess years of potential life loss. So if you count all those people and you count how many years you think they might have lived, it followed a similar pattern. From 2019 to 2020, the disproportionately high number of mortality rates in Black males and white males resulted in 997,623 Black males and 628,464 female XX deaths, representing more, get this, representing a loss in just years, right? The potential years that had these people lived during those 11 years, 80 million years of life. That's what was lost. Heart disease had the highest excess mortality rates, and the excess years of potential life loss were among, you ready? Middle-aged people and infants. So really what they're saying is that if you were under 1, or as a male, 15, and as a female, 20, that's when it tilted either way. If you could make it 1 year, if you're a black kid and you're born, poverty or not, because you notice it didn't take in income and then any of that. All reasons why people die. If you can make it to 1 year old, the odds are you'll be okay until you're 15 if you're a male and 20 if you're female black. 1.63 million excess deaths of black people. But then it got me thinking. If that's what happened, what was going on then? What new strategies would we use? 833-212-1017 is the number. So it looks like age, if you can make it to 1 year old and you're black, you should be okay till you're 15 if you're a male and you're 20. But something happens at that point in your life, right? The 15-year-old male does what? I don't know. The 20-year-old female does what? I don't know. I have my assumptions, but what can we do to fix this? Ironically, we were okay. Disparities were being reduced. We were fine until 2020. So when the black community is told, when the white community sneezes, the black community catches a cold, well, what happened in 2020? I think white people sneezed and black people, we got COVID.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.
Truth Nation, it's your boy Tory Lowe, and I've helped over 250 families search for their loved ones, so I fully understand the trauma and stress this causes families. This is why it's important for me to help and protect families during their moment of crisis. So be sure to tune into the Tory Lowe Missing Person Special on Thursday, May 25th, as I speak with organizations and